want those food like.
Oh. Hello. I have now uploaded 768 videos onto my YouTube, covering all the streams going up to September of 2017. Hello, DJ Gizmo. Including the full Rayman playthrough. Remember when I played through Rayman? The best platformer ever made.
That's the right, or Oregon. The correct way to say it.
Skills. Remember when Skills used to love it when I would pronounce Oregon correctly?
That's always a joke, I think.
Remember that? That's a very good game. Yeah, Rayman, some Amagon, the Family Feud video. Skills only hates. He doesn't love. No, that's not true. He loves us. Playing Alf once in a while. At this point, the full Persona 5 playthrough is up. The full Alicia Dragoon playthrough. That was a good one. It's a good game. I should go back and play that again. That was a good one. The Pizza Time stream. Eating Chicago deep dish Lou Malnati's pizza on stream.
I think I'm thinking
There's like a few.
I don't know if I've.
There's like a few. Oh, playing music from Darius 2. I wouldn't go back and actually play Darius 2 until like this year. Like,
Wrecking it.
I don't know. I'm paranoid about the music, but I've eaten pizza many times on stream since then. But this is like the only dedicated pizza stream I've done. I should do more pizza streams. And what else? You know, and just like a bunch of stuff. Oh, like, you know, there's 4 Patreon streams up now. A playthrough of Super Mario Brothers 2 Japan version, Shadow Dancer. It's still happening. It's happening, you know? Like, all the videos are going to go on YouTube. All my VODs will be on YouTube. Someday. Maybe someday soon. Do you guys like Double Dragon? I'm still playing classic arcade games. But I have not yet played original Double Dragon on stream. I just haven't played it on stream yet. So it's time to play it. I think the NES one is better. I think the NES Double Dragons are just generally better than the arcade. But we still have to play the arcade. The arcade's cool. Should I play set 1, set 2, or set 3? I don't know. Set 3? There's some cool things about the arcade one. I don't think the arcade one has the leveling up like the first NES one does. The first NES Double Dragon is so good. Double Dragon DLC. River City Girls. I wonder if I'll ever play those. I don't know. I don't know. City Girls. But we gotta play this though. Double Dragon. This is what the sprites looked like originally. Look at that classic Double Dragon look. And then the NES one, they had that. In the first one, they had that one-on-one fighting mode. It sort of preserves this look for the characters a little bit. It's more basic. Like the bigger sprites and everything. The music's still very good. Alright, let's play it. Oh, she gets punched. And then you hear the footsteps as they walk away. Wow. The realism is so immersive. Alright, you can jump and you can attack. You punch and kick. The buttons are kind of... That's punch and that's kick, okay. Alright, how do you do the elbow? Do they have to be, like, right behind you, or... How do I do the elbow in this game? Isn't that, like, the really good move in this game? The elbow? Oh, they got me. The animations. How do you do the elbow? How do you do the elbow? Reductus. Yeah, that's the kind of shock you needed as a kid. As a kid, you needed that to be shocked to your senses by Double Dragon. Random sudden violence. That's what kids need. Wait, how did I just do that? That was like, oh, that's like double tap. The headbutt? Is that good in this game, the headbutt? I feel like that's... I can't remember. Is that good in the NES one? I can't remember. But in the NES game, you have to, like, level up to earn all these moves. But how do you do the elbow, though? You mash all the buttons? And grabbing dudes by the head is good. And can you, like, climb on top of them and punch them in the arcade game? Punch animation looked goofy. This one? Yeah, I don't know. You think so? I don't know. Maybe a little bit. It's alright. There's Linda with her whip. I'll take it. I'm, for some reason, whipping straight down. It doesn't seem that good to have it yourself. But it's always fun to get the weapons. That's eerily as frantic as real life. Oh, yeah. Might be, maybe so. Oh, here comes a Bobo through the wall. He doesn't do that in the NES one, not at this point. I want to grab the baseball bat. I want the baseball bat. There's like slowdown in the arcade version. Look at all the slowdown there is. Even the arcade version has that. Give me that baseball bat. Take this, Bobo. Oh, look. Ooh, he makes a cool noise when he throws you. Laggy. Yeah. I guess... yeah, the word laggy for slowdown. That's like a modern thing. Laggy. Rather than like... network-based internet delay. I'm gonna continue. The NES didn't do... yeah, I guess... No, I think maybe he does. Are you sure? I don't know. He doesn't toss you over his head in the first one? Some enemies toss you in Double Dragon 2. Toss you off cliffs. Oh, the knife. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that. Yeah, it does a lot of damage. Yeah, this might even be like slower. This might have more slowdown than the NES one does. I mean, probably it does. I don't think the NES one had this much slowdown. Oh yeah, I saw that there's a Gradius collection in it's one of the many remasters they're releasing for like Nintendo Direct. I didn't actually watch it, I just saw people talk about it. It sounds like it's mostly remasters. I don't know, yeah, I mean, it's cool, I guess, I don't really care. With Salamander 3. Oh, but they're making a new one though, huh? That could be interesting. I'll check that out. Oh, is this the boss? Yeah, this boss is different from the NES. NES one, Bobo is the boss, right? This boss music is not in the NES one. Ooh, he's got a hand clap. He kind of looks like Mr. T. He's basically a Bobo. This dude with the baseball bat, you gotta get him out of here, dude. Get out of here. I need this. It makes a nice sound, the baseball bat swinging sound. Take this. Ugh. Take this, Mr. T. There's a cat on the garbage. The NES one, you know, it goes further, and then you go in the building. I think you fight a Bobo in the building, right? And now we're in the second. The arcade game, it actually doesn't cut. It doesn't cut to another stage. You keep going in the same map. That's kind of cool. Here we have the classic music, so good. They're gonna oh yeah, they're re-releasing the Rido games. I need to play those. I'm certainly not going to play the re-releases, of course, but. I do need to play those. I need to play those Rido games. I'm gonna play those eventually. Someday I'm gonna play those. Still Shin Megami Tensei games I need to play. But I mean, I guess it's cool. I just hope that their re-releases are as faithful to the original as possible, or at least there's faithful options. Ooh, I take damage from falling down there. You can't. Can I keep? Oh, I can just keep going and ignore that guy. That's good. Oh, he's still there. Do. It's always so cool in these early beat 'em ups, like pre-Final Fight beat 'em ups, when you have like sort of like this platforming element. You have like actual level. It's not just like one flat belt, but you have like stage variety, like, you know, like different like things you can jump onto, and like things you have to climb and jump onto, and especially when it goes like vertical as well. The NES one does. Imagine if they made a new Raiden game. That could be interesting. But I don't know. For some reason, you press the punch button midair to do the jump kick, but you don't press the... kick button. I also can't jump up. But I guess you couldn't in the NES one either. The NES one didn't exactly have terrain like that, where you want to jump up onto the thing. Alright, I got a box. Wizard? You can't climb this ladder, right? These dudes. So this game seems to allow credit feeding, yeah? Yeah, well, it just sucks, doesn't it, Asian Waste? I mean, a lot of things just don't sell well, regardless. So that's exactly why they want to, like, they'd rather just keep doing, you know, remasters than like making new stuff. It's a safer way to make money. Nah, I don't know. I feel like that's... I don't think it's that DJ. I don't think they're ever really testing the water. I think the reason they do all these remasters is because it's just safe money. I don't think it usually has anything to do with testing waters, you know? If they wanted to... Ooh, you can go up here. Look at that. But I still have to kill those dudes down there anyway. Oh. Oh, if you go off the conveyor belt to the right, do you die? Is that a death? Well, that guy... Those guys are all dying from falling down there. Look at that. Oh, and I just won. What's going on with the stream? I don't know. Something. Do you hear what happened? It's the game. What happened with the game? I mean, there's a lot of there's like constant slowdown. I guess the game is just really slow in general, but here we have the China music. It's cool that it all on one map, contiguous, and you go out to the right to the next map, and the music starts like that. Rather than like the NES when you start immediately in the jungle. Or the forest. Music's still awesome in this game. But probably I prefer the NES instrumentation though. Creaking noise? Oh, I don't know. This maybe was an audio thing in that room. I don't know. What's baseball bat? Baseball bat lasts a long time. I'm gonna just hold on to it. So the arcade one doesn't have as much craziness in the jungle. I feel like, you know, because the NES one, like, stages 1 and 2 are pretty easy, and then you get to I guess it's a forest, not a jungle, and then all of a sudden, the game really cranks up the difficulty because that stage is so much longer. The forest, really long stage, and, you know, you have to fight 2 Abobos at the end of the forest, which is hard, but then you go into the cave, you have to fight even more Abobos in the cave and deal with all these death traps, and it's really hard. Oh, I finally lost my bat. Oh, the arcade music is so funky. Yeah, it's crazy stage, but it's awesome though. It's awesome how crazy it is. I mean, they could have maybe divided it up into... That's just probably how the arcade one is as well. Maybe. So that's why it's like that. But it's just cool how much variety there is. I love all the death traps and platforming in these games. It really like sets them apart from other beat-em-ups and makes them feel much more memorable and distinct, and especially as like an adventure to play through and not just like, you know, like the same enemies on a belt over and over again. Space Astro Cat. I'm playing the original arcade one. We're checking out. I've never actually played it, but I've always kind of thought of the NES one as being just better. The NES ports, you know, like there's like playing the original arcade versions of a lot of these games. Like a lot of the NES ports are better. Not only the ones like Ninja Gaiden and Rygar that like totally change the game into something different, and then into something like more like exploratory, like more of an adventure game. Well, in the case of Ninja Gaiden, it's like just like a very streamlined action platformer with wall jumping. But then, you know, like you have stuff like Rygar, where it's sort of changed from a linear action game into like a action exploration adventure game. But yeah, I mean, stuff like Ninja Gaiden and Contra. Well, stuff like Contra and this, which are much more like straight up ports. I mean, the NES version of this does add the leveling system, which is a really nice addition. But then you have, like, Contra is... It's just like a straight up port with like a little bit of additional content. But, like, they're both improvements on the arcade one. That's not always the case, so I'm sure there's plenty of... there's definitely plenty of ports that are not improvements. Like Ghosts and Goblins is kind of arguable. Oh, Section Z is pretty different as well. I feel like Section Z, the NES one's probably better as well. Like Ghosts and Goblins, maybe the arcade one is better graphics and is smoother, but I don't know. I feel like with that one, the NES one might be better as well, because it's just, even though it's still so hard, it's still more approachable than the arcade one. No. And even though it's kind of janky. Athena is much jankier than the arcade one, but it's also approachable as a game. You can play it normally. It's not like both Athena and Ghosts and Goblins, the original arcade ones, are so ridiculously hard, like it's insane. Oh, that's a death hole. This is a death hole. Wait a second. Let me just check that out again. Look at that. That kills you. Is that killing me? Oh yeah, that's killing me. But I have unlimited continues, I think, or do I? You didn't like the NES port? Which ones? Section Z, oh yeah, Trojan. Yeah, I don't know about Trojan. They seem pretty similar, both versions. I like the NES one. The NES version has some problems. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's pretty awesome, the NES Double Dragon. Yeah, Double Dragon 2 is a clear... Like, Double Dragon 2 is, like, arguably the best one as well. Double Dragon 2 is amazing. But, I mean, I don't know. I think the NES Double Dragon 1 is kind of better than this in every way. Except for graphics. But even then, like, the graphics of this game are a little bit awkward, and the graphics of the NES one are, like, kind of more... I don't know, they just got a nice, appealing look to them. No two-player simultaneous. That's true. It doesn't have that. Oh man, the platforming's still difficult to do in this version. Oh, that's okay. Oh yeah, Bad Dudes. Which version is better at Bad Dudes? Or are they both kind of weird? Oh, there I go. See, he does throw you. Oh wait, but that's not in the art. That's not in the NES one, I guess. Henry, what's up? I could throw this guy in the water. Oh. Oh man, now there's only 2 dudes on the screen, but there's like extreme slowdown in this game. Yeah, the thing with the NES one, yeah, the punch combo is dangerous. They can always sneak in attacks in the punch combo, but the kick combo is safe. But the thing is, that's interesting about that with the NES one, is that the punch combo does give you more experience. Like if you use the punch combo for the whole game, you level up faster than the kick combo. But the kick combo is also safer. So that's kind of an interesting risk-reward mechanic, because you want to use the punch combo sometimes, especially in the first stage. To level up faster, but then you have to be careful because it's also like not safe. So I don't know, I like that, the way that works out. I think it's good risk-reward mechanics in Double Dragon 1. I don't know if it's accidental or on purpose, but yeah, once you get the spin kick, the kick combo becomes less safe. I think there's ways to make it so you don't execute that. Like you can stop yourself from doing that final spin kick, maybe. But that, I mean, maybe that spin kick is worth it, though. I don't know. The slowdown is unreal. Yeah, dude, the slowdown in this game. I had no idea it was so out of control. Like, just almost like just constant slowdown in this game. Here we are, the cliff where the Obobos are gonna smash out of. The kick also kind of seems better in this game. I think maybe the punch can hit multiple dudes at once or something. I'm not sure if the kick can, but the kick is maybe safer in this game. I don't know. I think the NES Double Dragon feels pretty good to play, especially with the leveling up. It just feels very rewarding to get all that stuff that you can get. Late Night Retro. Hey, Late Night Retro, it's been a while. What's up? It's been a while. What you've been playing like you've been like emerged or like submerged in like a deluge of just Mario torture lately. Most NES versions of the arcade games are better. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, there's lots. I'm sure there's lots of examples, especially with like shmups and stuff, like Tiger Heli and 1942. Although the arcade version of that one's not that good anyway. I'm sure there's lots of arcade games where the NES one is inferior, straight up inferior. What about like what was that one that I played through? Like Thundercade, which is super slow Micronics port. MBD, what's up? Yeah, Double Dragon. I never played through the arcade original. It is very easy. You can credit feed this game. It's a 1987 game, but this is one of the ones that lets you credit feed, unless it's going to take away continues in the final stage. I don't know. I don't know how this game works. But for right now, it's just letting me credit feed, which makes it extremely easy compared to the NES one. But of course, you know, to get a 1cc is probably painful, I would imagine. I can just not bother with that, though. Sure, yeah, it's not 2 players. I mean, not being 2 players does not really matter to me, because a lot of these games I'm not going to play 2 players anyway. It would be a liability back when you were looking for games to play with your friends. But as a 1-player, like, adventure kind of beat-em-up, like Double Dragon 1 on NES is awesome. Like, it's still, like, one of the better ones. It's one of the better ones. Are you actually fighting, like, 2 Obobos and a dude? I'm not using my jump kicks. But you can, like, kick the boulder to... Oh, man, look, he picked that boulder up so fast. Oh, the game got so fast all of a sudden, I feel like I'm playing in fast motion now. It feels like suddenly somebody pressed the fast forward key. Invade the enemy's base. See, this game doesn't have the stuff where you, like, go into the mountain, you have all those traps and stuff. That's an improvement in the NES version of the game. You doing the same thing as me? Yeah. Yeah, we all have to do that now. You had half of what I had? Wow. But you gotta preserve all that stuff, right? Did you preserve everything? Did you highlight all your streams, LNR? Did you still have your streams when you played through Ninja Gaiden 3? It's the elbow. How do you do the elbow? Somebody tell me how to do the elbow. I couldn't figure it out. I can't figure out what the elbow command is. What's the elbow? Final Fight better in the arcade than Super Nintendo. Yeah. Sure. There you go, Street Fighter 2, that's true. Oh yeah, I kind of prefer Super Nintendo's rendition of Final Fight's soundtrack as well. That's true. Yeah, that's so crazy. Like, all of a sudden there's one dude in the screen, the game's like, all of a sudden the game's running at triple speed. Really weird with yeah, I guess that's how the arcade was. Is that how the arcade was? Should I try a different revision? This is set 3 though. Should be the most recent one. But I guess that's just how this game is. Arcade Top Gun. I've never seen Arcade Top Gun. Top Gun on NES is an okay game. Like, some ways it's kind of polished, but it's one of those games, like, it's really hard to play through if you play it normally. So you just end up hiding in the corner, and you can hide in the corner for the entire stages, and all you do is just, like, then fight the bosses. And of course, if you play it that way, it's really boring. But to try to play it normally, you just die. So that's the problem with the NES Top Gun. And also, like, it has, like, it's a very dry game. It has very little music. What music it does have is awesome, but one of those. Yeah, I didn't know there was an arcade top-down either. A lot of these games have arcade ports. Oh, thanks, LNR. I appreciate it. YouTube kept limiting for the day. Oh, yeah. You got it done? Wow, nice. Well, I'm still working on mine. I've done 700 videos. I got like about 2,500 left to do still. Well, thanks for coming by. Good to see you. Hope you have a good one. Good luck with everything. Anyway, dude, I love the NES Double Dragon. It's really good. Jump, punch in a direction. Oh! I needed that. I needed that move. Oh, there I go. Ah, that's the move I needed. That's the move I needed so I can kill dudes quicker. So the intro to this base stage is like totally different from... And this is the stage 2 music as well. Where's that classic stage 4 music from... Is that still in Arcade Double Dragon? Maybe when we go in here. Like this part of the stage where you're climbing up the cliff is kind of not in the NES one, but also like the stuff that's in the NES one instead. I remember like all this stuff where you're climbing... Like, I think in the NES one, like, you go through the cave, and then you, like, end up climbing up, like, a wall, like, up these platforms, and then you get to, like, a door, and it's sort of like you're entering the base from, like, the back door. And that's cooler than this. Oh, the Green Abobo. The Green Abobo's in the NES one, is inside the cave. The NES one does not have the boss music. Not really missing out on much, though. Kickle Cubicle, Puznik, and Solomon's Key. I have played the arcade version of Solomon's Key. I don't know if that's... They seem similar. I don't know which one of those would be better, but I feel like maybe the NES one could be better. Been adding tags. Yeah, I agree. NES is king. I didn't know that this one had so much slowdown at LNR. The NES one is just so much improved over this version. They did such a good job of improving it. Tags. I don't know. Tags, I've been adding a bunch of stuff. I've been, like, I guess so, like, by tags, like, labels. I've been doing playlists. I've been putting in, like, the name of the game. Oh, there's the classic music. The name of the game and, like, the date. And I've been putting video descriptions and all of that stuff. Is that tags? I've been doing all that stuff. You skipped the NES shooters. Dragon Spirit interested you. Dragon Spirit's like one of the easier ones. Apparently the NES one's a lot easier than some of the other versions of Dragon Spirit. But it's a good one. That's the only one I've played. Oh yeah, this part in the NES is like so funny because it's so completely random. Whoops. Yeah, Dragon Spirit is good. And then the spear? That spear guy's not in the NES version. Solomon's Key, that's your favorite? That's a good one. Solomon's Key is good. That guy should get blown up. Let me try to do this with Dark. Oh, it's too late. That guy's just gonna sit there. I want to blow him up with the dynamite. Take this, idiot! That didn't work. Yeah, I gets them both at the same time. Double Dragon playthrough nostalgia. Oh. I don't know. I think. Oh yeah, tags. Okay. I just have like a. I haven't bothered with any. No. I haven't put that kind of thing on. No. I think for tags, I just put the name of my webcomic and that's it, as a tag. A phobia of mummies? Oh, really? Wow, that's interesting. Phobia of mummies. How would you develop a phobia of mummies? Like, mummies weren't really, like, a big thing in the 80s, you know? That's more like horror movies from the 50s. Keep forgetting the button to pick this up. Yeah, Solomon's Key I finished it. I finished Solomon's Key for Fliptendo. Had to do some research. So I needed to use the warps because it has limited continues, right? If I recall. So your best bet to beat that game is to warp through it, and you just kind of have to learn what to do in the later stages. But if you're going to try to play through it and get the best ending, which requires you to like go to all the secret rooms, I haven't done that. But it would be cool to try to do that one day. As a kid, I was intimidated as well because I knew about the secret rooms and like, oh man, you got to go to all these. I don't know if I knew that that's what you had to do to get the best ending. Go to all the secret rooms. It's cool though. It's really neat. Yeah, I think the NES version of is better for all the soundtrack. I think it's better. I don't know. I just like the NES instrumentation better. I think like that's true for a lot of early arcade games, which has this kind of synthy kind of Genesis style music, because the Genesis sound chip is meant to sound like the early arcade sound chip, you know? I kind of prefer the NES sound chip to this kind of synthy Genesis-y early arcade sound chip generally. They were all over cartoons, were they? Well, there was Moomra. Oh, maybe because of Moomra in Thundercats? But I never really saw him as a mummy. I just saw him as more of just like a monster. 80s horror waxwork. I mean, that's true, but like, that's like a really specific movie that I didn't even know about as a kid. But yeah, I guess Moomra was pretty big. Like, in the NES one, like, this stage, you then go into, like, there's, like, more doors and, like, more... I feel like there's more platforming parts and more things you go through, isn't there? In the NES one? Like, the stage is longer? I don't know. I could be wrong. I feel like just the case. Anyway, the arcade one has the thing. There's, like, your girlfriend, like, on the wall there. That's not in the NES one. I think maybe the final boss of this game is, like, your brother, right? And if you play 2 players, you have to like fight your brother. Like once you beat the final boss, then you have to fight the second player. You end up like having to fight the second player becomes the final boss of the game in 2-player mode. Like that's awesome. What you do is you talk to AI. It might help you. You hold it to stick one title generate tags under 300 characters. And generate a write-up or edit mine with better grammar. Nah, it's been writing. I'm not really into the use of AI like that. I'd rather write all my stuff by hand. I'm too much of like a... I don't know. I'm not perfectionist, but like... I want too much control over like what it is. I'd rather it be written in my own voice than use it. And I haven't really messed around with that stuff. Maybe if I did, I could get into it, but just, I don't know, it doesn't really seem... I'd rather just write it by hand, like all the descriptions. It doesn't take that long. I just kind of write them stream of consciousness a little bit and just stick it in there, you know? And usually what I do is, like, if I have a series of games, I write one description for that game in general, like sort of my review of it, and then I just paste that onto, like, each video of the game. The slowdown is crazy. Like, this is beyond... anything, even like Gradius 3. Even Gradius 3 in the Super Nintendo, like this is beyond any slowdown I've ever seen in like a Super Nintendo game. Like this is even worse than like Counterparts in NES for slowdown. Like this slowdown is insane. I gotta check the other revisions of this game to see if they all play like this. Does anybody know? Are there any... I'm assuming that maybe there is a later revision that like fixes the slowdown. Does anybody know? Oh, you can see that dude coming from that window? But the 20th is close. Well, yeah. I mean, with me, in my case, Eleanor, I don't have to meet that deadline because I have all my videos on a hard drive, so I'm not going to lose them. The only thing I'll lose is like description. In some cases, the description information and Twitch might be helpful, but thankfully, I don't have to worry about that deadline. Not that I've been taking my time. I've still been like rushing to get through it as fast as I can. I kind of enjoying doing it, going through like memory lane, you know. Yeah, me too. That's what I've been going into workhorse mode as well. But I don't have to worry about that deadline. I just kind of want to get it done as fast as I can. And then I have to go to my sheet. I have a Google document, you know, and I've got to like they have all these links. There's like 3,500 links to the different Twitch VODs. I'm gonna have to like change all of those. Maybe there's like a script that can do that for me, but I don't know how to do that. Oh, final bosses and beat 'em ups with guns. What are some other final bosses and beat 'em ups with guns? Bushido Blade. Although that guy's not the final boss, I think. The most sensible man in the room. Dude, even with the elbow, these guys take a long time to die. Does the one-player mode still have the thing? Oh, they're leaving. Does the one-player mode still have the thing where you fight your brother as the final boss? Or is that only in two-player mode? Because that's kind of the most noteworthy and coolest thing about this arcade version. Aw. And you get a panty shot, too. Wow. May you live happily forever. So you don't get the cool final boss with your brother unless you play two-player mode, right? But I'm not fantasizing that, right? Like, that's a thing in this game, right? Streets of Rage 1. You gotta stream all those Streets of Rage games sometime soon. Bullshido Blade. That's a different game, Henry. The crossbow. Oh, does he use a crossbow in this game? Oh, in Final Fight. Yeah, he has a crossbow. Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's pretty cool. That game's classic. I don't remember what was the credits music in the NES, but probably it's better than that. This game's okay. But wow, the slowdown though. So I was playing the US version set 3. Are the other versions the same? It's the world version. Does the Japanese version have all that slow? I'm assuming the Japanese would be the original, so it would probably have all that, right? Let's see if this world version's got the same issue. Yeah, I think so. Double Dragon 2. Yeah, the arcade... That's right. The arcade version of Double Dragon 2, you got through this one at 2, you shut off. All you did was get owned. I don't really care about playing through Double Dragon 2 in arcade at all, because that's like the most bland... It's just basically like a retread of this game. It's not different. Like, the NES one is like its own thing. I mean, from looking at it, that seems to be the case. The NES version seems like 1,000 times better than the arcade. In the case of Double Dragon 2. I feel like it's the same. I don't know. Okay, let's rate it. How do we top punching a girl in the stomach? Riddling with bullets, right. At the beginning of Double Dragon 2 arcade, it begins with Marion being dead, and you have to revive, or no, you don't revive. She's just dead. You're getting revenge. That's why it's called Double Dragon 2 The Revenge. But in the NES one, I think, the NES one starts the same way, but then the twist is at the end that she's still alive after all? Was that how Double Dragon 2, or was she just merely kidnapped? I don't remember. But in Double Dragon 3... she's alive again in the NES version, I think. But in the arcade version, she's still dead? Is that how it went? The Game Boy version. Is the Game Boy version just a straight-up port of the NES, or is it its own thing? If it's its own thing, I'd be really interested in playing through it. The Game Boy... I've never checked it out. It moves like a snail. The Batman game on Game Boy is awesome. Kid Icarus is awesome. I have not played Kid Dracula. I've only played Famicom version of Kid Dracula. I need to play more Game Boy games. It's been a long time. Okay, now it's time to rate a video game. I'm going to rate Double Dragon. It's not that good. But we knew that. I knew going into it that, like, basically nobody considers it to be better than the NES one. some people sort of, it varies. Like opinions on the NES Double Dragons vary. A lot of people don't like the platforming, but that's specifically what I like about the NES Double Dragons is the platforming, like the level variety that you don't get in a lot of just more straightforward belt beat 'em ups, which are just like, and you have that in like Golden Axe as well. Like you have more platform variety. Like you have a little bit of jumping, platforming, different levels. I like beat 'em ups like that have more level variety. But I feel like the Double Dragons are the kings of level variety in a beat 'em up. There's just so much stuff. There's so much other stuff you have to pay attention to, and so many opportunities to like fall off platforms or throw enemies off platforms. All the traps add a lot more interestingness to the levels. But I mean, yeah, so like the NES one is better in that way. It has more level variety than the arcade. They added more. All the things they added are cool. There's more music. I think there's a couple of additional music tracks in the NES one as well. And it's got like it does have the one-on-one mode because it's not two-player, it's a one-player game. So they added that two-player beat 'em up, which is pretty weird. But it sort of has like the unique sprites that are different from the one-player game that are trying to look more like the arcade game. Dude, the NES, I love the NES Double Dragon. The arcade Double Dragon is just, I guess it's mostly noteworthy for like its influence being like a very early prototypical beat 'em up. But like to play now, honestly, it's not very good. And the music is good. The music is good. Not as good as the NES. The music, like a lot of those classic tunes are there. Oh, Sega Master System version. There are critics that prefer the arcade. I don't know how you could prefer the arcade unless there's a version that has no slowdown. They hate the leveling up aspect. I haven't really heard that too much. I don't know why you'd hate that. The Atari 2600 version. Well, there's all kinds of people. Of course, you could find anybody who likes anything or dislikes anything, but still, I think that the NES ones have their fans, and I think that the arcade ones have their fans, but I feel like people generally prefer the NES ones, except for maybe Double Dragon 3 has got its own cult following in the arcade. I don't know, it's hard to imagine a lot of people are big defenders of Double Dragon 1, but I agree. It seems like it's more memorable for being a pioneer. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's that good. I don't think it's really that worth playing except for like just once as a curiosity. I would not invest my time in trying to get a 1cc. Right? It seems like a waste of time, I would much rather play the Game Boy version or Master System version and check those out. So 3 and a 6. What did I rate the NES one? Probably like 9 and a 9. That's what it deserves. 9 and a 9. Arcade version, 3 and a 6. Maybe a 7 though for the music. I mean, the music is very good. It's just I prefer the instrumentation of the NES, but the music it's still very good. Does it do anything that Renegade doesn't? We should check out Renegade real quick. Yeah, Renegade came first. Let me take a quick look at Renegade. I've never looked at the arcade version of Renegade. I've only seen the NES port. But I feel like, Renegade and Double Dragon, they both have the same inspirations. Like they're clearly both kind of inspired by like the Warriors. Like the Warriors is another one of those movies that is sort of unsung. I feel like the Warriors has a really big influence on video games. The Warriors, Conan. Everybody knows that like Conan is very influential, and Rambo and Aliens and Star Wars, but people don't really give the Warriors credit enough. But like all these beat 'em ups sort of have the Warriors as like their seed of like, none of these would really exist the way they are. Because also I like a little bit of Mad Max as well, but I feel like the way like these beat 'em ups like Final Fight as well, and this and Renegade and Double Dragon, they're so all clearly just trying to be the Warriors or maybe Streets of Fire, but more so the Warriors because that was the really popular one from the 70s. Like the bathroom scene from Final Fight is like basically taken directly from the Warriors. And like the way that the clothes are, the way that the gangs, the whole street gang concept, and the clothes and the like the look, the sort of modern post-apocalyptic modern look is just like the Warriors. But of course, like this game is not post-apocalyptic. This is, it does have that street punk aesthetic, but this is Japanese school kid punks. Yeah, I think that, I don't know, I'm sure that this inspired Double Dragon. There's other early beat 'em ups. The really early beat 'em ups before Final Fight all have smaller characters, and there's various ones, but I feel like Double Dragon is the one that's the more influential than this, probably. I don't know. Enter the Dragon. Enter the Dragon. Yeah. Or the one where Bruce Lee goes up the tower, Game of Death. Maybe. But what specific games do you think that influenced, like, specifically? I wonder. But yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of these games owe a debt to the war. You shouldn't underestimate the inspiration of the Warriors in like a lot of these. I'm not that interested in playing Renegade. I think the NES version of Renegade's a little bit more Double Dragon-y, whereas like the arcade Renegade, from what I recall, is more just like arenas where you fight. I don't know. It's kind of silly. Maybe I'll play it one of these days. But I think I would rather, let's just stick to the classics. We're trying to just, play some of the classics today that I haven't yet streamed. So let's do another one that's also very influential, but in a different way, not a beat 'em up. Another arcade game that's very influential. As for what it's inspired by, it's very obvious. This is another one of those games that's inspired by the thing I just mentioned. But the game itself is also influential, and it also inspired like a whole bunch of clones. Cabal. So we should play it. We should play Cabal. I haven't yet played the original arcade version of Cabal. I think that in the case of Cabal, this is an example of a game where the clones are just much better. I mean, this is the case with Double Dragon 2, maybe. Double Dragon as well. But the clones are much better than the original, and there's not a lot of... The original is kind of bland in hindsight, but I should play it, though. Yeah, George Miller, right? Asian Waste? Yeah. Right? Or is that... I'm thinking of a different guy. The bottle part. When he's clinking the bottles there, that's the end of the movie. Warriors, come out and play! Yeah, that's good. It's classic. Warriors is an awesome movie. If you've never seen The Warriors, you guys should all watch it. That's like one of the classic 70s, like sort of fantasy post-apocalyptic movies. Very entertaining movie. Really good soundtrack, too. I think when you watch it, you can see all the influence it had on video games. Room with the arena. Right, that's what I thought, too. It was my impression. All right, I can't remember if I played NES port of Cabal. I think I played a little bit. It's not that memorable. Let's see if this game is, if you can just credit feed through it. All right, we're gonna play Cabal. All right, is everything with the layout good? Oh, wait a second. You know what? Hold on a second.